Hey, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Carlos, and joining me in this video is my boy C4
What's
Explosives.
what's good, everybody?
What is going on, son?
Chilling, man. Trying to get through these holidays. You?
Yeah, same. I love family time, but it's always means more work around the house, cleaning things, getting things prepared. And even though we're not messy here, it's still a lot of work.
Like, where'd that dust come from? I swear I
Yeah,
dusted that.
yeah.
It's that. Ah, it's
And
all right though.
since no one else is allowed in this room, I'm the one that has to move things, clean things, la la la. And so my office is generally the dustest one in the house.
That's like my nightstand. No matter what, man, I actively move everything on that thing, and then yet I still hear there's like a thick layer of dust around the lamp on the backside where I don't.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
damn it, foiled
That's
again.
where that's where that's where having a mom like I had, you're scared to leave that dust there.
Tighten up.
Yeah. Coming from my mom and then going into basic training, I always joke around with people. I'm like, growing up with my mom and then going into basic training and having the drill sergeants yelling at you, throwing your stuff all around, I started crying. And they're like, "Why are you crying, Private?" I said, "Because you make me miss my mom."
Hell, no.
My mom believes in clean, capital CLEAN. All of it is capital. You better be clean or you're starting all over.
It says it on the side of the chancleta. It says clean as it gets boomeranged.
Exactly. But no, I've been having so much fun. Going all the way back to Thanksgiving, even being able to reconnect with the Cuban side of my family,
Yeah.
and then here, staying home and just being here doing country folk stuff. It's just it's been a nice little change of pace, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and folks need to take that time um to just relax, reconnect with the people that mean something to you,
For sure.
and and then and then we ride out because I've been seeing a lot of the folks that we've been talking to, the folks that we've been virtually hanging out with. A lot of them are resting up because come
Mhm.
January, is brass knuckle time.
It's go time. It's go time. Yeah, I see it too. Like, there's a lot of like, all right, this is the time to reset, to recharge,
Yep.
recalibrate, and just like again, like we didn't do a whole lot, but it seems like there was a lot of bonding, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then when you're having to go off and do work and do all the separate yourself to go do what you have to do, there's a better understanding on what's going on. Like, all right, I got to go handle some business. Let's go, and we could do this
Hmm.
all again. Just
Yeah.
finding time together is important. I got to chop it up with BT and his campaign team.
Yeah.
We're gonna go out. We're gonna go out canvassing hard for him come January.
Beautiful.
Uh, so it's been pretty cool, man, to see the inner workings of that. I've never been a part of something like that. You know?
Yeah. Shout out Bernard Taylor. My man is out there, boy, out of like nothing but respect for everyone that we've talked to and everyone that we've networked with and but Bernard Taylor is that dude. He has content constantly. And you think that he has a team, but it's like him and his wife.
Yeah, yeah. While
She
holding
makes
the
t-shirts
baby,
and he
it's
makes
like
TikToks.
that's it, man. He's like, I'm gonna go out through the garage. I'm gonna make about 400 reels real quick, and then he bangs them out, man. He's hey, but you know what? If
And they're
when
funny.
they're good, and when on the flip side, when you want a candidate that's gonna do that shit for you, that's gonna
Exactly.
grind for you. Like he's grinding, man,
Exactly.
and he's one of us. Like he's one of the homies, but the homies that that are riding with us. So I mean that
Yeah.
he's down for it, man.
And
It's good to see.
I think it's just a really clear showcase of his intention
Mm,
because he says, "I'm here for you," and he's there for you. You know, he's literally saving lives. He's literally pulling people out of burning cars on the side of the road, if not the building. And, you know, he's doing paramedical stuff. He's like, he's
yeah,
out there getting it done.
yeah,
So
man.
when he says it, like he means it. So it's folks like that. And it doesn't help that he looks like a solid linebacker.
Man, I wish he
But
played for the
there it
Bears,
doesn't
man.
hurt. It doesn't hurt that he looks like a linebacker because Mike Johnson gets mouthy and he gets, he gets his chin checked. Bernard Taylor will be the one carrying him out to the stretcher.
Come on, Ben. You know better than that. I got you though, but we're gonna have a talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Speaking
about
of
the Bears?
linebackers, how about them Chicago Bears?
How about them Bears? Man, it was so
Oh,
close yesterday. Ah,
yeah.
ah.
If it wasn't for the flu running around that locker room, I think they would have had like Caleb. If Caleb would have thrown the ball 6 inches higher,
Yep.
we'd be celebrating in a different way.
That was the game. That was the game of the year. And like
Yeah.
you could tell where he's developed, developed like these sidearm passes and like these mechanics that are
He
very
did one
accurate.
underarm yesterday,
Yeah, that was a bit much. But you know what?
but it
The
was
toolbox.
completed. It
There's
was
a lot of
complete.
tools in the toolbox.
He did a handful of overhands that didn't get caught. He did the underhand one and it got caught and they got a couple yards out of it.
Yeah, and they Ben Johnson's got some schemes, man. The hook and ladder, like they're all kind. But Caleb's got to throw the passes that are easy. He's got
Yeah,
to make
he's
those
got to
easy
make
passes.
those. Yeah.
Other if he was able to do that, I mean, we probably would put 100 up on the board. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
was a 35 to 38, some shit, man. That shit was
There was a couple of them last night though. One of them was Lovelace,
Loveland.
Loveland, and the other one, I think it was Kyle
Mananga.
Mananga. Ba-de-da-de-boo-dee-doo. I think both of those guys got passes that hit them dead in the hands, and they took their
Yeah,
eyes, they moved their eyes too quickly.
yeah.
But if those two passes, and I know hindsight is 2020, all that stuff, but if those two passes would have gotten caught, I think, or would have been caught, I think it would it would have been a completely different thing. But
But well, even like there was in the not the first interception for a touchdown, not the pick six in the beginning of the game, but there was an interception where the Bears had committed a penalty. The
yeah,
guy that got the interception in the end zone committed the penalty. I'm
yeah,
thinking if that penalty didn't happen, 49ers wouldn't have scored, and then there's a whole momentum shift. Like it's not you
yeah,
score, I score, you score, I score. It's like, all right, we just took it away from you
yep.
again,
We took your
straight from the
turn.
punched in the mouth, and then that's defeating right there coming out of the gate. So,
Yeah.
but hey,
The exciting thing is my boys are showing up.
NFC champs.
They're showing even bigger than that. The fact that they because everyone is like, you can accidentally make noise. Um, you can accidentally win games. You can accidentally throw the ball, and there's to a certain extent some of the people that have been kind of dragging their feet on what are the Chicago Bears these days. They they have an argument until the Bears beat the Packers
Mm-hmm.
and they almost beat San Francisco. San Francisco to me is the best team in the NFC West. See, I
Yeah,
I watched Seattle a handful of times this year. They win,
they're all
but
flawed. All of them are.
San Francisco shows up and hits you in the throat.
Yeah, their
They
defense
Christian
sucks.
McCaffrey, they Christian McCaffrey your ass to
Yeah. I was hoping he was hurt just a little more because he was getting like back spasms and stuff. He was trying to get his back rubbed out and stuff. And I'm like, man, just stay, just sit it out the rest of the game, homie. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, he's a horse though. He's my I think he might be my favorite non-bear player just because
He's
living out here, I get to see him talking, just getting interviewed, not during the game,
yeah,
and he's that dude. He puts in the work, and then he straps him up, then he hits you in the mouth, and then he goes back to work.
yeah. I can see that, man. He looks like a good dude. He's always giving it up to God and like
Mm-hmm.
he seems like a humble guy,
Mm-hmm.
handling business. And then
Yep.
I
He
can
ain't
see that.
he's not about all that. I don't know him personally, but to me, I don't think that he's about that glitz and glamour life that come with the NFL. And when you're a stud in the NFL, you know,
Yeah, yeah. I can see that.
um, he's a good dude. He'd be lifting cars and shit with his legs. Like,
Dead, man. It's all good. We'll be all right. We'll be all
yeah.
right. It was a good
No,
test,
we'll
though.
see
I
them
think.
in another couple weeks. We'll see them in
Yeah,
another couple weeks if the playoffs start shaking out the way that they do.
yeah.
It'd be
Gotta play
fun.
Green
It'd be
Bay,
fun
man.
to be. Yeah, we gotta whip that ass again. But
Yeah,
that's part of it. We
true.
got them at home. If we beat them, think about that.
Yeah,
If we beat, oh no, we're not. I thought it was going to be beat Green Bay, almost beat San Francisco. It would have been fun to beat Green Bay again to move on into the playoffs, but it's not going to work out like that. It's going to be we beat Green Bay, almost beat San Francisco.
Detroit.
Lions is going to be they've been stumbling a little bit,
Yeah,
but
they missed it,
um
Ben Johnson.
but I think Ben wants to get that first loss that when we
Yeah,
saw them.
you
I
gotta get
think
that
he
gear
wants
right.
to because now we're clicking, bro. Like,
Like you saw us when we were just trying to work shit out. We got it
yeah,
worked
we just almost put 50 on San Francisco, who to me is the better team than the Lions are.
100%.
You
Hundred
know,
percent.
so yeah, that'll be nice. Get in there, get Ben Johnson a nice little win for being a wonderful coach. And then we go into the playoffs.
I feel like every game lately, man, I have like 8 heart attacks. Like like
Yeah.
the last game, it was like throughout the whole thing, like, oh, we got to score, we got to score. But Green Bay, like, I had like 6 mini heart attacks in like the last like 10 minutes of the game, overtime. I was like, man, my heart can't take this, man. We need to. Can't we just blow them out? Can we blow somebody out? We gotta make it come from behind.
Yeah. But that's like the come from behind thing is you can see everyone is slowly but surely buying into the system.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, and then they realize, you know, uh, Ben Johnson, from what I understand, he is very meticulous and he expects you to be here when you're supposed to be there
mm-hmm.
on the field, right? It's all about if you just pay attention to the system, it's going to work. Just do your part. Don't worry about anybody else's job. Do
Yeah,
your part. And there's some simple things. If you don't block, no, there's no block, no rock.
yeah,
So if you want to be on ESPN and all that stuff, you better start blocking. And then the more you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it. And then it starts to make sense as to why you should be here blocking there. Right.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when you have a beast like Caleb showing up throwing 60-yard darts,
Dimes, dimes.
hitting the bullseye,
It's it's
consistently hitting the
unbelievable,
bullseye.
and we've never
But
had
that
that. Never,
no, no.
never.
How close is he? Has he gotten? What are we looking for? 4,000 yards or something like that?
Yeah, he got like 333, so he needs like 270, I think, and he's got it.
Okay.
I think he had to
Wow.
average out I think he had to average out 300 for
Yeah.
each game.
Yeah.
He could do
You
it.
got that dude, and you're doing pretty good, like the running backs. The running backs, what people might not remember is in the beginning of this season, they were looking for good running backs because they weren't 100% sure that Swift was going to have it in him. Swift is
Right.
a good fast back.
Hmm.
He's not the kind like Walter used to just put his head down and
Juice.
hit your soul out of your body.
Yeah.
We don't have that. Swift will
Yeah.
hit you, but he'll bounce off and take off running. He's one of those fast backs.
Yeah.
And Kyle Monangai, for as wonderful as he is to watch, um, I think he just needs to be a little bit bigger, and he would be exactly what we're looking for.
He came out of nowhere too. Like, and you could tell like how Ben Johnson is like taking everything that clicked in Detroit with the dual threats, to change of pace backs. The one's real good on the inside, one's great on the outside. They both have hands, they could catch it, and he's
Mhm.
like mimicking this in Chicago. And
Yep.
they kind of just fell into Monangai because they were trying to do Roshan Johnson. They're trying to do, like, and
Right.
it really didn't fit. Now you got two guys that like you said bought into the system, and they know their roles, and they celebrate each other. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which is huge too, because you could be like, well, I want the Rock. No, I want the Rock. Like,
Yep.
and there could be that, but they celebrate each other. There's that competition, amongst each other, and but all in all, everybody's in on this, all
Yeah.
phases.
Yep. When you're on a good team, and this has happened for me on a basketball team, kind of baseball, but specifically basketball, where everyone knew their spot, everyone knew their strengths, everyone knew their weaknesses. And you would, as a team, you would cover the weaknesses and you'd celebrate the strengths and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, everyone's dunking on everybody else. So that's that chemistry when they talk about team chemistry, that's what it is. When you can see the tendencies from your teammates, and you know for a fact that dude's going to be right there,
Yep.
and that dude's going to be right there. Give it to the guy on the wing because he's going to do some things.
Hmm.
But if he's not there, that guy over there is probably going to do his thing because that's his tendencies are over there.
Right.
So when
Come
you
up
get
with
that
that.
understanding, and that's what Ben Johnson is trying to do, is get to that level of understanding.
Hmm. It's like an
Um,
orchestra. Like
mhm,
everybody plays a part in the symphony.
yep,
you know, and then like you could it's cool to see Caleb throw the dart or the deep dime, and the guy didn't even make his break yet. But
yeah.
the ball's already in the air, and then all of a sudden, then he makes his cut and it's in his basket. Like, I was like, man,
And now he's
it's
talking all kinds of smack too, a good smack. He's like, yeah, I can make that throw. I can make
and
that
he
throw.
did he did last week too. He did this
Last
week
week
and
when
last week.
DJ Moore caught the pass
Mm,
while he was covered by two people, and then there was a third in front of the play, and somehow he came out with that at the back of the end zone. It's incredible. When you have that much trust in your teammates, good things happen.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. and
Well,
and that and that goes for anything, like, especially like when we get back into the political scheme of things. Like, you need a team. You can't be the one person,
right.
because you can have all the great qualities in the world, but if you don't have people out there, you delegate people to be in those positions where, you know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Like, BT's like Bernard's like, all right, I got guys here in this part, and this part,
Yeah.
and this is your team here. So go
Yeah.
out with your team. You know what I'm saying? He's our Ben
Yep.
Johnson, you know, and our Caleb Williams at the same time. And he's going out there and like, and he's got the blueprint. And
Yep.
this is where we play a crucial factor, and when we bring all these new candidates on, that are aspiring for these positions, that we kind of get kind of implement, like give them those tips. This is what's working out here. Have you tried this? What's failing for you right now? Well, maybe
Yeah.
like none of I can't even imagine where to start. Try to run a campaign, let alone try to run it from the ground up without having a
Hmm.
bunch of people give me a bunch of money.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. It works like that in corporate America too. Because um wherever I worked, I always, if I got to know someone, they always were attached to a smaller group somewhere. You know, if it was a project manager that would take developers and designers with them, whatever. So you develop your little team that's going to maneuver corporate America. And down in LA, it happens quite a bit. Um, and that's why when you're down in LA, or if you're interested in moving to LA, I always tell people find your click, find it quick, and stick with them. That's the only way you're really going to make it down there.
yeah, I can see.
The lone person is that was me. All I wanted to do was show up and work and go home. Because work was plentiful and I was going home at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning and I didn't have energy for anybody else.
Yeah, I hear you.
But but if you want to make it in corporate America and a little more condensed, would be LA, you need to find your people who are good at what they do, and then you create that clique, and then you move through each other's careers that way.
Mhm.
That's the political system is basically like that too. You
Yeah, yeah,
have you have the person that's running for office, and then they have whoever's good at marketing, whoever's good at calling people, whoever's good at money raising, who's ever good at all those things. That's your support staff. So you be Caleb. Um, a lot of them have uh, campaign managers. I would assume that's more like a Ben Johnson.
defensive coordinators. You got all your
Right,
coordinators for your. What
right.
I'm saying. I can see that.
Yep. And then you just go and you take office in whatever state you live in, or you take office in Washington D.C., and then you ride out. That's how they all do it. That's
Yeah.
why these transition teams and all this stuff, that's why you have all these people in place. They're part of your team. And if everyone is clicking the way that they do, I think that's why um, the Obama years, he kind of had a team like that that was out there pushing the message and doing all the things.
Mm,
Trump, not so much because he's more of a ball hog, you know.
yeah. Hmm.
It's got to be about him and it's only about him. So he's more like he wants to be the star player. He wants to be the coach. He wants to be the decision maker. He wants to be all the things because he thinks that he's all the things.
Yeah.
But that's
Player,
why
the
you
coach, the GM, the yeah.
right, but that's why you see like his people always change because they haven't developed that team mentality.
Mhm.
The people that are on his team, the ones that have stuck around this time, the first go round, I don't think any of those actually count because those were establishment people and you know, they didn't let him get away with all the dumb stuff that he's doing now.
Yeah.
But then he got rid of all of those. That means that your teamwork and your team chemistry is now all completely messed up. So what he did is he goes and gets to all these shysters, all these cheaters that hung out in Florida. All of these people hung out in Florida together. And they're all scam artists. They're all on the take. They all will take your donations and buy yachts. They all do all these terrible things but there's no allegiance. The only allegiance, if they have allegiance to Trump, is because he's promising them the ability to make more money than they already have.
Money and power. That's your championship.
That's it.
Yeah, there's you yeah, you could see the similarities, and it's not. It seems like he gathered up every villain in every neighborhood, and brought them to Mar-a-Lago and
Huh.
said, "I let's do this, and we're
How
gonna win a
hungry for
campaign."
power and money, which is basically the same thing, how hungry for that are you? And they're like, I'd do anything for it. I'd even have sex with kids. Perfect.
Yeah, I got an island for you. Yeah, yeah. How about all that shit, man? Like, it's getting there's some stuff, man, with the baby in Michigan and like these things that are coming out. Like, it's just
Explain to me that Lake Michigan baby. Because
uh
I looked it up a couple days, but then I was coming up with something else. Like there was a woman and a baby, but then like a toddler had died, and that's what I found out. Apparently,
yeah,
I don't know if it's a completely different story.
I I mean, like you, man, there's so much information that is coming from everywhere.
Yeah,
It's hard, and and then they're gonna deflect and say that everything that's in the files is false. So like come on. But yeah, there was a girl that got pregnant, I guess, that had a baby, and the baby ended up in Lake Michigan. Man, and it I think the girl was with Trump.
Ugh.
So like I don't know, man. There the level of man, I don't know how there's not a word for how like disgusting these people are. There's not a word for it. And Trump said Trump is the level is the I guess the perfect phrase. They're all Trumps, and
Yeah.
they're nasty, man. And it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deeper we go, the more we forget about the shit we just like. You go down a long hallway, and there's pictures all over down the hallway, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, and like in a museum, and then the next thing you know, you forget everything that you just passed because the next thing that you've seen is like
Yeah.
more shocking to the system.
Yeah.
And it's just what it seems like, man. And then they're gonna go throw some bombs in Nigeria, and then they're gonna, you know, fucking throw bombs
That
in
is so
boats.
frustrating to me, the Nigeria thing specifically, and the Venezuela thing too, because he ran on releasing Epstein files. He ran on no new wars.
Hmm.
He ran on all these things, and it seems like number one, obviously, he's going back on all of them, but uh, I get frustrated with people that defend him because he's gone back on everything.
Everything.
He's making a big show out of this ICE thing. Obama and Biden have had to this point
Hmm.
deported way more people than him without the show.
Yeah.
He said no new wars. We got two new ones. We just bombed uh Nigeria.
Hmm.
We we just took an oil tanker away from Venezuela.
Don't forget, we're still trying to actively take Greenland.
He's saying that Greenland is going to be the 51st state.
He's still on board with that.
Yeah.
And it's that outlandish shit that it was like, this guy, and
And
he's
then he
doing
puts
it.
his name, on the fucking Kennedy Center, which is illegal. You're not, it's
Oh
against the
man.
rules. You know what I
And
mean?
then and all these people, all these artists that are backing out, they're like, we're gonna fine you $1 million for your breach of contract. You know what I'm saying? Like their Kennedy Center
Yeah.
is trying to implement these, I guess, these penalties on the artist because you because of Trump's name on it, you're gonna back out. Like, well, yeah, that we have standards, we have morals. I'm like the
Hmm.
douchebag that you just decided to put all over your
Hmm.
building. It's it's a
Yeah.
joke, man.
There's no respect. There's no
Mhm.
respect. And and I want to say that like America First and MAGA and all that stuff, like they're just hook, line, and sinker. But folks like Nick Fuentes,
Mm.
who is an oxymoron to me, but and a moron without the oxy. But
There could be oxy in there, but yeah.
but I've been, I like to watch content from the people who consider themselves spoke spokespeople for w- different groups, and he's one of them that has been popping up on my radar more often. And even he has been dogging Trump, saying you're breaking all the agreements that we are going to have, and he thinks the GOP needs to go away. Specifically, if they lose the midterms next year, he thinks that the GOP just needs to go all the way away.
Yeah.
He's not that he's a Democrat and not that he pulls for Democrats. He just wants new new organizations up there,
Yeah, I could see that.
which is hilarious because so do we.
Yeah.
So
And finally, we agree.
these ignorants have us in the upside down to where I am agreeing with Nick Fuentes.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene when she did, and you know what? Like a lot of them are starting to come around, right? You know, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owen. A lot
Yeah,
of it was like when Charlie Kirk died, Candace Owen was like, "Wait a minute, let's pump the brakes here. What's really going on out here?" And then
yeah,
she's, and then I can only imagine what it's like behind the scenes, like the threats and everything from the people that were supposedly supporting you, and all of a sudden, like you're one of them now, like,
hmm,
or like all this funding disappears, or shit like that. But it happens on both sides too. Like you get the anchors like Don Lemon,
yeah,
and then they get ostracized off because they take stances. They take their stances, but it doesn't align with what the upper echelon say.
yeah, yeah. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she lasted all of what 2 days against Trump, and then she wanted to retire, and now she's going and doing the View, and there was something else. There was an interview that she did with the New Yorker, was it something like that, where she's like, "I'm sorry that I participated in this the bully politics and all this stuff," and I'm like, the Spanish have a saying, if you translate it loosely, it says, uh, "The punch has been thrown," or "The punch has landed." You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
You can't unhit someone.
yeah.
So
It's like,
you've already done the damage, lady. Sorry.
yeah, it's like all these people that were like Lindsey Graham when January 6th happened, and they were like, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and impeach Trump, and then they're kissing his ass like the next week.
Yeah, because they know that that's where the money is coming from.
It could only last for so long.
Yeah, and when again, you build the house of cards, or you build your or house on sand, and whatever metaphor you want to use, when you build your house on bullshit,
Hmm.
it's only a matter of time. It's not going to be able to withstand storms, and that's what we're starting to see. The storm of the Epstein files, the storm of him just incessantly trying to put his name on stuff, having the United States be a direct a reflection of his idiocies.
Hmm. Yeah,
All that stuff is coming crumbling down.
he's turning it into a gold-plated like Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, and I can't help but to think back and try to imagine being around when Nixon came down.
Mm.
Imagine being around and all these reports are starting to come out that, hey, the game ain't what you think it is.
Right.
And everybody's like, oh.
They got
And they're
nothing.
like, no, the game ain't what you think it is. And everybody's and then we lost grip in the 70s and the 80s and stuff. Like life got good. You forget about politics when life is good.
And could you imagine too? Like, so back then, like, you, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I have a tape. Let's play the tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you can't create these things.
yeah,
And now with AI, it's like, you know, you if you go by off a true social, right, and you see Donald Trump, he's gonna just spit out anything that's out there that
yep.
somebody puts out on there, and he's like, the sky is falling, and then the next thing you know, all his people are like, yes, the sky is falling, but it's fake. And then like you have all these Epstein files that are coming out, and you see his track record since he was fucking, I don't know, since he put his name on his first building. Like he's a sleazeball, and
Yep.
it's like, wait, there is actually hard evidence. Like
Yeah.
there are tapes,
Yeah.
out there. There are pictures that are not
Yeah.
doctored. There is testimony that they refuse to unseal or redact, and like it's going to hit,
Yeah.
and it's going to
And
make
you
Watergate
remember
look
when he
like,
first in 2016, before he became president, people were talking about these Russian PP tapes.
yeah,
Remember? Remember? And everyone was like, "Oh, he's got tapes of him and Russian hookers together and all this stuff." Come to find out, they're not Russian and they're not ladies.
you
And
ain't
then
lying.
they let him buy Miss America and Miss Teen and all that stuff. Talk
Yep.
about letting the fox into the hen house.
Oh yeah, and then like I grab him by the grab him by the, and like you just see it. It was like he never hit any of it. Like it was just
Right.
like
Right.
there was just layers of it. And it was just like,
Yeah.
come on, man, this guy's a joke.
And it's a perfect he is the perfect example. He's the poster boy of rich white privilege.
Mm,
It's not just white privilege. I know folks that are white that will be upset if um you say that they when you say white privilege, there's like a racial negativity to it. But some of the folks that I know, they know that they do have privilege,
mhm.
and they do know that there's certain benefits to being of light complexion. I'm not talking about those guys.
Right.
Um, Donald Trump is rich white privilege, which rich privilege is, if you say rich and powerful here in America, you can take it for granted that we're talking about someone white. But the fact that him and all his friends all have been doing this before you and I were even alive. They've been doing this for a long time. And the only thing that we really have is Epstein getting a sweetheart deal. He's the
Mm,
only one that got busted. He's the only one, but he got out unscathed until the second go around, and now we're gonna find out that Trump has something to do. You remember when I said this months and months ago? Trump
yeah.
probably has something to do with his disappearance of the soul, not of the body. Here we
100%.
are. Here we are. So you don't think that the rich and powerful can make people disappear? Here we are. My man was in prison.
While his girlfriend's in a country club.
Now she's chilling. Now she's chilling.
She got a chef. But there's
She gets
the level.
puppies. She gets puppies delivered.
I don't like that puppy. Send me a new one.
Yeah.
I broke it. I broke it.
Send me a white one.
Damn it, man. Did you hear Melania read that Christmas book to the kids?
I can't listen to her. I can't take her
My
seriously.
God, it was torture.
I
It
can't
was
take her
torture.
seriously.
It was
From the
torture.
first time when they this is such a destructive family. They tore up the rose garden to put down this, a concrete lunch area.
Oh, we call it the yard, didn't we? Or like
A yard where you get your hour and a half of sunshine before you have to
get
go
your day,
back.
get your daylight. You're walking around. Stupid.
Yeah,
Oh,
man. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that these folks have been, and that's just one crew. That's just one crew. Whether or not they're doing gross things with kids or not, this is just one. You remember how earlier in this conversation we were just talking about having a little crew and you're maneuvering through your careers?
yeah,
This is just one crew. This is
yeah.
just one crew.
There's a lot of teams in the league.
So many teams. So many teams. And the more power they have, the more cocky they get about it. They think that they're going to get away with it. Even if they got, but this is a perfect example. Even if they got busted doing this dirty stuff to kids,
Hmm.
they still got away with it.
Yeah, they're making a lot of mistakes with their arrogance. They're underestimating, and
I don't even care who you are, even if you're doing things for the right reasons. Eventually, if you do all this stuff the way that they're doing, they're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Eventually, everything falls apart. Every push, there's been a lot of positive things that have started and have fallen apart. Eventually, when you're doing dumb things like these morons are doing, eventually like we keep records, bitch.
yeah, like we can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're out in
And
the open.
unfortunately, you know, the Democrats have zero power, let alone balls to do anything. Um, Republicans aren't going to stop it because I'm assuming all of these folks are getting paid.
Hmm.
And then at the end of the day, after the smash and grab, because that's what this is, it's a posse, and they're smashing and grabbing. They're
Yeah.
making money. I saw a video today where this guy explained the tariffs and how, he had like a blender kind of thing, and a blender costs $120, but now it costs $150 or something like that because of tariffs. And he held up the money, and then he took away how much it costs, and this is how much you paid for tariffs, and he had like a 20 and a 10, something like that. He goes, and then if I take this 10, like Trump is saying, we're going to give you back money, we're going to do away with the IRS and all this stuff. The only reason Trump wants to get done with the IRS is because him and his friends. That's where their corruption exists. If you're from the streets, you're from the hood, the corruption happens down here. Their
Hmm.
corruption happens up there. When the Republicans take office, they do away with all the IRS people because that's where their law breaking is happening. And then they take all those funds, turn them into cops to rough us up. Then when the Democrats take over, they release the cops. They go get more IRS agents, and then they fight crime up there.
Yeah.
Still fucking us up, but not as many cops. There's no ICE. There's none of that stuff. It's a lot less dramatic. Corruption is up there. When you realize that the Republicans exist to break government because they want corporations to tell you what to do,
Mhm.
When you realize that that's the game, you start to realize, wait, 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 wait. Where are we going with this shit? Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
America first. Why are we bombing? Why are we bombing Nigeria? Why are we taking things from Venezuela?
And I was just watching the video. Somebody posted on Instagram. It was like a full length video, but it was a video that John Deere had them take off of YouTube, and it was talking to a few farmers in the Midwest, right? And they were talking about how the tariffs are affecting the farm system community, farmers in general. So he was like in the small town where there was about 40 to 50 farmers decades ago, and you're talking about like generational farmers, and now there's only 4 or 5. And then you talk about how he talked about how the there were so many options back then, like from where you get your grain from, where you get your fertilizer from, where you're getting your tools from, where you're getting your vehicles from. There was competition, so then that drove the prices down, and now everybody started these conglomerations, and it started back in the Bush era of Obama. Like there was, and it now there's only 4 or 5 options, and they're all connected together, and then that gets your pricing to this inflated this number, right? And he's talking about that, it costs, let's say an acre costs, I don't know, whatever it produces, like let's say round numbers, $500
Mhm,
for so much soybean, whatever. He goes, all these companies will get together and say, well, your expenses are going to be 499,
mhm,
and then you're only supposed to take this little bit of profit,
mhm,
and and then with all the bailout money is to go pay back the corporations that you borrowed you're getting your grain from, and your vehicles from, and your tools from, and your
mhm,
fertilizer from. So these farmers are making shit.
mhm,
And then, of course they have to import more than they export because everything is cut off again,
mhm,
and then it's like, and he's just like driving through his old neighborhood, and he's like, decades ago there was a restaurant there, there was,
mhm,
machinery building there, this was a facility here, this is where my uncle used to live, and this is where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people used to provide for the country,
mhm.
and now there's like 4 or 5 of us,
Yeah,
and it's decimated,
yeah,
and then they're gonna bail them out
yeah,
supposedly and make it look good. When you're talking about giving money and trying to, it's a show, man. And he's like, and he talked
yeah,
about, it was just, you're funneling taxpayers' money, you're
yeah.
laundering taxpayer money.
Mhm. Yeah, going back to that blender video, the point that I was gonna make when I brought it up is he had the 20 and the 10, and he says, "What good is giving you this 10?" And he keeps this 20. Like he's taking money from you.
Mhm.
And then he gives you a little bit back to say, "Oh, yeah, look at how much money we have." Like he's stealing these tariffs. He's basically stealing money from the Americans so he can then do the ballroom, hire more ICE. He's taking money from you to hire ICE agents. He's taking money from you to build a ballroom. He's taking money from you to enrich himself
And redact files,
and
the
redact
million,
files.
millions of dollars in lawyer fees to siphon through files.
And then let's remember he wants 250 million, 300 million for because he broke the law
Hmm.
time and time again. The Justice Department wanted to put charges on him. And so now, because he feels harassed, he wants $300 million.
Well, I don't know if you heard, Michael Wolff is suing Melania. Michael Wolff was he's a writer. He was doing a biography
Mm-hmm.
he did on He would follow her around, and he knows the inner workings of Trump and Epstein and things like that. And something came about where Melania was like, "I'm going to sue you for $1 billion if you do X, Y, and Z." So he's like, "Okay, I'm going to sue you, um, and I'm going to drag you through court, and then you're going to have to come up with all this information
Yeah.
of you, Trump, and Epstein,
Mm-hmm.
because I have all that information, and
Right.
I can." And she's been dodging him, and finally he was been trying to serve her papers for months now, and then it's going to go to the court to where I guess if you try to serve somebody so many times and they're hiding from you, it automatically gets put through the system, pushed through the system to where
Mm.
you're going to have to show up to court. He's going to
Good.
subpoena her, and so like there's again they're falling apart,
Good.
and I could only imagine the little room
Screw
together.
them all. Screw them
And they're
all.
fuck them all.
And you even have people like, I don't know, did you see the Dave Chappelle comedy special on Netflix?
I did, and I heard a little bit about it. I heard it's pretty good.
Well worth the watch. Well worth the watch. He talks about a lot of these touchy subjects. He talks about Charlie Kirk. He talks about Israel. He talks about so many things. And just the way Dave Chappelle does it, he makes it make sense.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. But the main thing is he makes it make sense. So if you haven't yet, if you're watching this video, go out there and watch the Dave Chappelle special. It's really good. It's really good. He addresses a lot of very important topics. Um, he ends it by saying, you know,
Spoiler alert.
uh, yeah, spoiler alert. He's talking about Charlie Kirk and how, folks are getting crazy, and then he says how his voice has gotten more his voice has gotten louder and more people are listening to him, and that's when trouble starts to find you.
Hmm.
And he said, so we need a code. We need a code that when you hear me say this sentence, you know not to listen to me. I have been compromised.
Oh, okay.
And the code is I support Israel.
Shit.
He flips the mic and walks off. I was like, God.
That's it, man. There's so many people in on that have fame that
Hmm.
I'm really disappointed in.
Yeah.
You have you're because they don't want to jeopardize what they have, because that industry's
Sure.
dark. You don't want to get blackballed, shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that everywhere. Like imagine being a doctor and you know, being a doctor and you're telling people, oh, hang on, let me read these tea leaves in your teacup, and you're going to address their ailments through that, like you're going to be looked down upon. You're not going to be invited to the doctor meetings and all that stuff. Same thing in Hollywood, same thing everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're an
It,
athlete, you get caught juicing, you know, you get blackballed and stuff like that.
even like doctors, you're a specialist, and you say, I vote for, or I'm leaning towards voting for this guy, and then they're like, well, you know what, I can't. The next time we're going to form this little specialist group or something, you're not going to be there. We're not going to invite. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
you're slowly pushing yourself out for what you believe is right. So
Yeah.
I could see that as well. Especially if you're pro Palestine, free Palestine, and like I could see that getting really nasty.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's unfortunate.
And isn't it funny how all these people talking about I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life,
Drop
and
bombs.
drop bombs. You
Yeah.
know, like how selective are your emotions that you're all up in American women's business, trying to tell them how to live their life.
Mhm.
But then when it comes to a whole other nation that you have no connection to, you're just gonna light them up just like that. And again, I always say this: pay attention to how they talk about Palestinians, and tell me if that's not the same words that they use when they're talking about us, brown
Yeah.
people,
Mhm.
both black and brown. When they talk about us, they talk about the same thing. And then when you start doing research, you're like, wait, what? There was a there was a group of black people in Philadelphia and they bombed that block? Yes, bitch. They bombed a block in Philadelphia. They bombed uh Tulsa. Tulsa used to be the Black Wall Street. They literally dropped bombs. And then they turn around and say that we are the violent ones. They turn around and say that we are poisoning the blood of this nation. They're talking all this mess. They talk about how we're savages. They talk about how we don't know. They talk about how dumb we are.
Like we ain't shit. We haven't contributed to society.
I've heard that one too. I've heard that one too. I'm like, bitch, do you understand how boring baseball would be if it wasn't for Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans? You big dummy. It would be, if it wasn't for my people, baseball alone, America wouldn't win World Series.
Oh, hell no.
They would not.
They would not be very good.
They would not. No, sir. No, sir. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying there's a lot of teams out here that they do really well when you get them jam packed with Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Dominicans.
100%. 100%. And they're the first ones to be like, they're from Boston. They're like, oh, Big Poppy's the best. Oh, Manny Ramirez. Those are the
Right.
glory days. Like, okay, you know
Yeah.
who they are, right?
You're
You know where
welcome.
they come from, right?
Right. I ain't from here, kid.
The other heroes, other sports heroes, are like, they don't count in their like real life, society. This only when it comes to holding up a trophy or talking shit at the water cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. Ricky Ricardo, Desi Arnaz, Cuban,
Yeah.
born and raised in Cuba, came to America. When he and Lucy created Desilu Productions, they ended up being the second biggest Hollywood production company at that time.
Man, that's what's up.
That's why they don't open doors. We take shit over.
Yeah, we make shit
We
better,
take
man.
shit over.
Put some flavor in that shit.
And we but exactly. Exactly. Why you think everybody's upset when you tell us to stop going to Sasongoya?
Now, they take Cowboys from
That
us.
shit
They
hurts
take all that
us.
shit. They got nothing. Sorry.
I mean, they're fine, but it's kind of like it's kind of like um ignorance is bliss. When you don't have to do the work to educate yourself and to know what you're talking about, and you just go and you say whatever it is that everybody else is saying,
Yeah.
you
Well,
don't
that
have to
goes.
do the work, and everybody's lazy. Everybody here is mentally lazy. Not everybody, but
Well, there's a good
there's a
portion
lot
of
of
it,
folks that are mentally lazy.
and that's all people. But like when we talk to Carlos Araños Alvarez,
Alvarez Araños.
there we go. Don't tell him I messed it up. But he was like, we could go back to Like he can go back to the Dominican, the DR, Cuban, you know, like we go back and there's culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's that missing identity, you know, that there is in in white America, right? Like where do they have their roots at? You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're from here, like generations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can't go back to where are you gonna go back to? Yeah, I'm like 15% Italian, I'm Swedish, I'm English, I'm from here and there, like, but you don't have a home, right? And their
Mm-hmm.
home is based off of stuff that they've collected from us. You know what I'm saying? Like all over from the islands, from you know, from Mexico, from Canada, like from
Mm-hmm.
everywhere else, and that is their melting pot. And their melting
Mm-hmm.
pot doesn't have like a label on it. So they have to put this is you know what this is all we have. And
Mm-hmm.
there's that sense of disconnect. And I could see like there's jealousy, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a finesse to it that they don't have, or like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And and like there has to be like again we have a community and we have to be like Carlos said, he's like, you know, bring him a dish, invite him to the barbecue, you know what I'm saying, and say, okay, you fit in, but don't take it all from us, don't take
Yeah.
everything from us, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't
And that I know that those videos that he made, or that the video that we chopped up and we put out there, I know it ruffled feathers the wrong way, maybe the right way. Um,
oh yeah, it
there's
did.
I will like disagree a little bit, because white folks do have culture. Um, but when your culture is the dominant culture and you don't let other people's culture exist, your culture ends up being unwanted, because people want to be wanted. People want to be understood. People want to share their experiences. People want, that's why it's fun for us to do these talks and to talk to different people, is because communicating and understanding each other, that's what it's supposed to be about.
Why is Chicago so beautiful?
Because we got everything there.
Everything's in there. It is
Everything.
the melting pot.
Everything.
Every culture, every food, every bit of music, everything from all over the world is there.
Mm-hmm.
Ideas, art,
And shout out to New
everything.
York too,
Right,
because New
right, right.
York has it too. But we
For sure, for sure.
understand. We understand. We speak Chicago.
Yeah, so like there's everything there. We can identify, anybody can identify with anything in any part of it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
anybody can find a home there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's, you know, barring any like well, you know, you gotta watch your neighborhoods, but like you're accepted in those neighborhoods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's missing in
And we might
here in
bust your
New York.
chops. We might
Oh yeah.
bust your chops for whatever reason, whatever it
Look
is. I'm not trying to
goofy.
pick on anybody, but that's just how we get down. You know, if I care
Yeah,
about you, I'm going to joke around about you because I understand where you come from.
right. Right, right. And that but that's what's missing everywhere. Like I'm in Florida, you don't have that. You go a little you get a little bit on over there on Tampa, like St. Petersburg, there's like a little collective of culture, you know, your neighborhood festivals and things like that where everybody's kind of coming together and um celebrating each other from where
Mm-hmm.
you're from, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough of that in the country,
Right.
you know. Like
Right.
explain like I'm half white, but there's a lot of it's mixed up with a lot of stuff.
Right.
So like
Right.
there is that blender in that essence of like I don't have there's like where's the home?
And at the end of the day, who gives a shit? We're here.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going anywhere. So
I'll live.
the more you try to grasp and cling to some shit, if 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 it was worth anything, you wouldn't have to try, so, hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm from Chicago. I come from, the islands and all that stuff. Wherever I go is Chicago, and I will make you some tostones and some fried yuca. It's easy. I'm not trying to keep that away from anybody.
Right.
I'm trying to share it with people so you can see, so you can taste something that's different. Yeah, you have French fries, but have you tried a yuca fry? This shit is delicious, sir.
Delicious. Yeah, yeah. That's
It's
what we
this
give. We give them a little bit.
incessant, it's this incessant thing like, I need to have it my way. No, I don't want to press one for English. No, 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 no. Unfortunately, son, you are in a country where that's what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to have diversity. We're supposed to be bringing people from all around the world to come here to participate in this stew, in this melting pot.
Yeah.
And then we stick with what works and we throw away the shit that doesn't. Shit that
Right.
doesn't. Racism has never worked. Homophobia has never worked. This transphobia stuff that just doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't work. So we have to do away with that so we can keep building.
Yeah, the amount of energy that it takes to hate is like, if you can apply that to just making
You're
things
gonna die
better.
early.
Whew.
You will die early. If you live in a constant state of hate, your body doesn't want to live like that. Stress will kill you. Hate creates stress. If my existence creates hate, therefore creates stress, and it's you that's struggling with my existence, I'm not worried about you. I'm existing. But if my existence causes stress to you, and you're just sitting there trying to figure out how to get me and how to get back at me and how to do all these evil things to me, you will die early. If not stress then triggers cancer. It triggers illnesses. It triggers all these things. So you living in a constant state of stress, you will die early.
100%. No stress on my back.
No, but hey, whenever you see anybody that I'm not in the room and they know me, they'll be like, dude, that motherfucker is always laughing.
Oh yeah.
If Carlos doesn't have a smile on his face, something is seriously wrong.
I was just saying that earlier. Like, if something's wrong. If I the way I say hi to you,
Yeah.
I'm going through some shit.
Yeah.
And then and then that's a tell of how you treat people. And like, they could be like, what's wrong? What can I do for you? How can I help? What's going on? How can I make your day better? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because they're like,
Yeah.
man, you, out of all people, you can't be having a fucked up day because you're making my day fucked up, because you're the one that's supposed to be bringing the joy. I'm like, my
I've
bad.
had that I've had that talk at different jobs. Be like, hey, look, we what's going on with you? Because your personality permeates through the entire office. So when you're having an off day, it fucks with everybody. Nobody knows what the fuck to do.
Everybody's on pins and needles, man. Like, oh shit.
And it's not even that serious. It's just like, sometimes you walked home at 4 o'clock in the morning and you're just tired and you don't want to deal with their things that they're bringing to the table. Sometimes you don't have the energy,
That's a lot.
That's it. Everybody who I ever had a relationship with, that's always one of the first things that I say. I said, look, I'm me, and I understand that's why you're at the table. But understand there's some days that I don't want to be me. There's some days that I can't be me. I don't have the energy to be me. Don't take it personally. If you ask me, hey, is anything you good? All this stuff. And if I say yes, it's just some shit that I'm working through. I'll be back.
Right.
But
Give me
don't
some time.
stress me out trying to fix some shit that I'm trying to fix. We good. We good. If I needed help, I would ask.
But would you though? Because sometimes,
Yeah.
you know how we get though, man. You're like, can you do something? Like, I'm good,
Nah,
I'm good. I'll figure
not
it out.
me, dude. That's all about stress and finding the shortcuts. Finding the shortcuts and not even just like in a shady way. Finding the shortcuts like uh people that might know something more about a certain topic that you're trying to get to,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I just on the channel I talked to Dawood Anyabuile. He's a comic book dude. He did Brother Man Comics. We've had 35 years of Brother Man Comics. I have no problem if I'm trying to do something comic book related. I will call him up,
Phone a friend.
phone a friend. It's those shortcuts. We all have experiences. We all have things that we have learned or that we've have experience in, whatever the case may be. So for me, unless I have a direct problem with a person, I might not go to that person until it's time. You know, if it's a situation where it's going to be a confrontation or anything like that, I always try to figure out the most constructive way to make that approach. Um, but this whole thing about uh wasting time to like people are
Figure it
shortcuts.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are shortcuts, you
Oh, for
know.
sure. You got to do the most, what's most efficient.
Yeah, why are you gonna
And
keep banging your head on the wall? Just ask someone where the fuck the door is. How do I get out of this
that's the best
room?
way to put it, man. That's the best way to put it, man. I'm gonna make a door with my face.
Yeah, I'm gonna just sit here, keep
What?
banging my head on this until the door appears.
Just
Or
one
you could
foot to
just
the
stop
left.
doing that and turn to the side and be like, "Hey, you know where the door is?"
Yeah, I heard that, man. There's certain things, man. I don't know,
Yeah, there's certain
but
things that it might be sometimes like if you see me spinning my wheels on something and I'm having a long day and that's because I'm having fun in my misery. There's
and
something for me.
that's a lot to do with it, man. That is a lot to do with it. Let me be in my shit for a second.
Yeah.
And if I start to drown and or I'm wasting too much time, because sometimes part of it is like you want to figure it out, and if you can't
Hmm.
figure it out, then you got to be like, all right, well, I'm I'm not giving up because I'm trying to find an answer.
Right.
So I get it, man.
Yeah.
That's what we
It's
do.
all about those shortcuts and limiting stress and there's sometimes I'm wrestling with this computer and I'm just like, what the hell? Why didn't if I told you to do this, why are you doing that?
Then you
Sometimes you
bang your
jump
head
on
against the
YouTube.
computer.
You jump on YouTube, or I call one of my friends. I was doing one of the when I was doing Don't Box Me In, one of my short animated films here on the channel. Um I came to a point where I was struggling with trying to render. It was the first time I ever built a render farm, not even in this building. I had a render farm on Amazon servers and I was trying to feed the thing and I was doing the different scenes and all this stuff. And it got to the point where I was probably bit off too much more than I should have tried to. I called my boy Charlie. I was, hey, he's a render genius. When it comes to rendering and shit like that, Charlie's that dude. Hey, save me from wanting to throw this computer out the window.
That's it, man. That's it. You bailed me out. You bailed me out of some stuff too, man. So like that's what like if
That's it. No
that's what the
paywall.
community.
No
This is what
paywall.
it's all about, man. This is how we navigating and how we network, man. Like if I know something, it's yours. That's how we
Yeah.
break bread.
Yeah.
That's how we make shit happen.
Yeah. Would you I I don't trust people that make me pay for information. I'm not
Yeah.
convinced you're going to give it all to me. I just don't.
Then why, like, you know, as an artist, it's like, you're a producer, I'm an artist, I'm gonna charge you for this beats, right? Like, I understand you're trying to make a living,
Yeah.
but if I say there's there's a runway here, and if we do me a solid, you're gonna get your credit, and we're gonna make shit happen together.
Right.
Because this isn't just a one thing. This
Yeah.
is an avenue to generate here, here, and here for all
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
So it's like when if it's like I need $50, or you ghost, oh, all right, well, later. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me.
Yeah. See, the thing for me is I'm good at finding solutions. My brain is solution oriented. Um and process. I geek out on the process, right? I've been on basketball teams. We've won championships. And then after once you win the championship or once you find the solution, you're like, all right, so there's like no more basketball till next fucking season. That sucks.
Where we gonna go eat?
Meanwhile, the process of getting to the championship, that's what I get off on. I love figuring it out. Um, I don't I don't mind needing someone to help do a thing, but maybe my thing isn't what you're interested in. But
Right.
I'm not gonna keep that from mm, I'm not gonna let that keep me from doing the thing that I want. So for the song, for music, like you were talking about, yeah, I would love to work with different people, but and I understand you want to get paid and all that stuff. So do
Mhm.
I. We could trade work,
Right.
bring a lot to the table. We can trade work, or I have a music uh account with a music fucking place, Epidemic Sound, and I can get beats there. I'd rather
Mhm.
work with you.
Right.
I've been in situations where I'm working on a film, and I wanted specific music. I wanted specific music from LA, specific music from Chicago. Everyone ghosted, so I did my own thing. I'm not it's not that I don't need people, it's that I would prefer to work with people, but I'm not gonna let you keep me from
Yeah.
reaching my greatness.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not. I guess when it comes to stuff like that, that is going to be not a one-off kind of thing. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
I would rather build a relationship and grow together, right?
Yeah.
Than saying here's this, and then all right, bye, I'm done. You know,
Mhm.
I want to. So then, and then because then it evolves. So like,
Right.
and that's kind of how I've done stuff, and that's
And it
how
it
I've.
goes back to having that team chemistry that we were talking about earlier.
And some people don't want to be the team player, and then all right, fine.
Cool.
Then we know we ain't on it.
We
You
keep
know,
pushing.
thank you for that, and but don't
I'll
be
let
mad
you
if
know when I have $50, I guess.
and if I do drop 50, don't be mad that I just dropped 100 over here, or we made 100 over here, or you know what I'm saying.
And that
However it works
exactly.
out. Don't be mad because I used what you did, what we did together, and then you're like, yo, C4,
I saw
help me
I
out.
saw a post just this morning on Instagram, and I know that I'm gonna butcher it because I don't remember it exactly, but it was something I gave I gave everyone a chance until they said no, now fuck them, something like that. I always come like it's who I am at soul level. I love people. I love talking to them. I love working with them. I love being around them. Groups give me energy.
Yeah.
I could be feeling like shit, and then I go out and hang out with some friends, and that just improves my whole being. So I want to do that. But not everyone has the same size gas tank, and not everyone has the same amount of gas.
Yeah.
And there's some people that are probably tired of being taken advantage of, and they just don't see it. And maybe they've had 1, 2, 3, 20, 25 people who
Burned them.
have run the game on them, and they're just tired of it. I'm at that point now too. I'm at that point. I don't do things for free. I mean, unless depending, but I don't do
Yeah,
things
yeah,
for
yeah.
free anymore, you know? Um, yeah, I've tried to do that team thing. I've tried to work with people. I've worked on different projects for different people, and then when it came time to work on my shit, like all of a sudden now everybody's gone, everyone's cool, everyone's too cool to help.
Right. I see that too.
To me, that's school. That's going to school. Okay. That one cost me a little bit, but all right, fine. Now we don't have to do that no more.
Yeah, and that comes into growth too. Like
Mhm.
I still myself, I feel like I there's a point where they're like, oh well, how much for this, and I'm like, and so then you're trying to figure out what self worth is.
Mhm.
You know, what are your talents really worth,
Yeah.
and trying to assess that. And I understand. So there is that. You know, I understand you charge for what you charge. Let's do this just off of what we got going on.
Mhm.
You know, there's both ways to look at it. And if it's some stranger, some random person, I get it. I'm gonna charge you,
Right.
unless. Uh, but
Unless you
but
fit.
again, yeah. And then the big thing, especially that I learned from working with you, man, is the trade off. Finding people. We're doing all these shows, and we're you know we're trying to build people up, and in
Mhm.
turn. And in turn, we reap benefits as well. So, like, you know what I'm saying? I understand that too. You know,
Yeah.
there's a fine balance on all sides, and that comes with growth, so
Yeah.
I
And
can see that.
even this channel, like I've talked to people, they're like, "What are you doing with this channel?" Nothing. I talk to people. And then, and then I chop it up and put it on Instagram. That's not, oh, you trying to be a kingmaker? No, I just talk to people. I If I talk to you, if I talk to someone who's trying to be in politics, if I talk to an artist, if I talk to whomever, I'm going to talk. That's what I
Yep.
do. That's what I do. I talk, and then I go and I edit and do all the things. That's what I do. It's going to happen. I'm going to do this if I'm reacting to a video, if I'm talking to you, if I'm talking to them, it don't matter. This is what I do. This is what I decided to do. Share information, make videos, doing all the things. I'm not trying to be a kingmaker. I'm trying to get you more exposure. And I think you coming and having an intelligent conversation with a couple good looking gentlemen like us, I think that's a benefit,
That's a plus. Plus
you
two.
know.
But on that note,
Yeah. 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 Anyway, um, should we wrap this one up?
yeah, man.
Yeah, I can go take my dogs for a walk. All right, brother. Good tapping in.
Hell yeah.
We'll
We go chop it up with
yeah.
with Joe.
Yeah.
We got a lot on deck, man.
Yep, we do. We have a lot of really fun things starting to line up. We have more artists, we have more musicians, we have more political hopefuls. We have a lot of really fun things starting to come together.
A lot.
So you
It's
guys
cool, man.
please stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, all that good
Oh,
YouTube stuff.
yeah, check the boxes.
Everybody, and with that, we out.
Peace.